So I'm still not here, bro.
All right, you hear me now, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You might want to fix your camera. You look blurry.
I don't know
As in,
why.
wipe it off.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what's going for your camera, bro.
I don't know neither. Strange. Hold on.
But the YouTube link up?
Yeah, the YouTube link live again.
Them I hear you.
I think so, Yeah, come here upon the feed I have up.
I'm going to check. Oh, yeah, 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 good.
Yeah, I don't know why this is showing me like this, dog. I swear. This is strange.
It's a sign, bro. Invest. New equipment.
No,
Rich man.
yo, bro. Yo, this is supposed to happen. This is a brand new laptop. And I don't, but it was working before. I don't know if it's Zoom. It's probably Zoom.
Maybe.
That is the lighting, like. That is the lighting. The lighting, man. I wish for the light a shine for me.
At the bling, man, it disrupt the camera, Rich.
The way the light a shine for me, man. Jano. But
Mm.
normally my shoes in a day, my something the light now work, my ring light now work. All right, let's have us work with it.
Mm.
All right, peeps, let's do this. Yo, big up everybody in the chat. Big up on yourself. I'm gonna drop the link. Everybody in the chat, if you're hearing me clear, just comment and let me know that you guys are hearing me, please. All the people in the chat, comment and let me know that you're hearing me, please. All right, my boss. All right, all right, all right, all right. Yo, everybody feeling? Feel good? Want to feel about a week? Oh, shit. What's that thing? Okay. Okay, here you go.
Yeah, prefer enter for one pullback.
Hold on, we not match it out yet. May I try send out the link.
Oh,
All right. All right, peeps. Blessed Sunday. Sorry for the late night meeting, but you don't know. Today was a family day. So we'd have to chill out with the family today. Haven't had one of those family outings in a while. So touch the road with the family today. You get me? So we're ready for kick it off and all like slippers. We could do a full breakdown, a full analysis from start to finish, from top down. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the 3-month candle as usual. Because you don't know, we're in the 3rd month right now. And the 3rd month is about to close in 7 days, which means that this is the last week for this candle. Now, based on the candle, how the candle looks, does it look like we have enough momentum for this candle to flip and drive? I'm not so sure, but based on what we're seeing a very long wick, right? So it is rejecting off of this previous low right here. So it's rejecting off of right here. Will it go all the way up and flip? Maybe, maybe not. But what we can do is we can mark off the first 2 areas that we could look for price to possibly tap into, right? So price came from down here. It tapped right here and now it is pushing up. So now we have to be thinking to ourselves, is it possible for price to continue to push up, or will it actually push back down and close outside of here? Both things are possible just based off looking on the 3-month timeline. If we look on the higher timeline or the 6-month timeline, we see that this is a bearish candle that created another bearish candle that went down first and is now pushing up. So could it be that this 6-month candle is telling us that the next 3 months is setting up itself to actually flip and drive up? It's a possibility as well. So based on the 6-month and based on the 3-month, it kind of not giving us a clear direction as to where it's going to go, but I'm leaning more towards it turning bullish. I'm leaning more towards that. It's not giving us something clear yet, I'm leaning more towards that because as we can see, we're still in a ranging area. So we don't know for sure what's going to happen. It can go either way. Any way is possible. But what we can do is we can look at the lower time frames and see what is more possible. So right now we're on the monthly time frame, right? And what happened on the monthly time frame is that the candle went up, it went down, it then created this wick down here, and now it's starting to flip again, and now it's starting to push up, right? It went as far as creating this high at some point in the month, and it came back down, and now it's pushing up again. My guesstimation is that price more than likely will continue to push up, right? I'm expecting that this candle will, in the next 7 days, will close very strong, bullish to the upside, because you have to think to yourself, what are the odds that this candle that is already so strong bullish is going to start to go back down and flip to start to go back down and start to turn red again? It's highly unlikely, in my opinion, based on what I've seen before. So I'm guessing that this is the wick that was created down here, because price did start up here, then it created this wick and now it's flipping back up, right? Because I think when price is open, I don't know if you remember Chakor, but when price is open, it opened with a very small wick first, right? Then it went up, it came down, created a longer wick, and now it's trying to flip up.
Yeah.
So that's what I think happened. So now it's moving up. So you have to think to yourself, if it come down and then it created a wick down here and start to move back, is it going to come back down again? I think it's highly unlikely. So now we're building up the story, and the story is telling us that, hey, you know, price looking like it's going to actually start to flip up and continue to the upside. Well, it's flip already, but to continue to the upside. And let's go on the weekly to see what's happening on the weekly. So last week, in the past 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, we've had the candles actually pushing to the upside, right? The issue I'm having with these 4 candles is that none of these 4 candles, actually had any kind of body. Most of them was very wicky. These are all wicky candles. If you look at these candles right here, you'll see that these candles had more body, right? But then if you look at this formation right here with these candles, you could have seen that these candles are almost identical to these candles right here. So could it be that just like how this move happened, where in the last candle, because this was at 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, could it be that the 5th candle is going to be a strong body candle like this and push up? That's a possibility. So this right here could be an actual replication of this right here. That's very possible based on how the candles are moving. Because these candles to me look almost identical, right? So now we look and we say, all right, for this candle to push up, right, what do we need to see? And the first thing I notice looking at this new weekly candle is that it has no bottom wick. That's a huge concern for me. This has a very tiny bottom wick, right? Which is a huge concern for me. And it doesn't mean that the candle won't continue to go up and close bullish. It just means we have to be mindful of the fact that this candle can actually come back down, grab some wick at the bottom before pushing back up again. Now, is it going to happen this week? It's possible. But the candle is very strong bullish. The candle is very strong bullish opening up. For the next 4 days, will it continue to push up? Maybe, maybe not. But overall, it looks like it wants to continue to go up, but then could it actually start to reverse and then start to flip and come back down here? You know, all of that is possible. So the point I'm making is that the story is not really clear as to what is the final move that the candle wants to make before the end of the month, right? So there's no clear final move that the candle wants to make, apart from the fact that the monthly candle is showing us that it wants to go back bullish. But if the candle, this monthly candle actually comes back down here Will that be the wick for the weekly? Exactly. So the monthly candle could actually, the weekly candle could actually come back down here and then start to push up back aggressively again, which would have been just a pullback on the monthly candle for a continuation to push up. And typically when you see the weekly candle start out like this, there's still opportunities for the weekly candle to actually pull back, grab a wick before pushing up again. So I would say we're still overall biased, but I'm not so sure that this particular candle is going to continue its move like this all the way up to the top. It's possible, but I'm not so sure. But let's look at the daily and see what we can get from the daily. All right, so it's an interesting story that we're seeing on the daily right now, right? So on the daily, price tapped at this, at the EMA right here and started to push up immediately. Now, could it be that this daily candle continues to push up? It's possible because when we look at the size of this, and we look at the size of this candle, let's see the size of this candle right here. How we measure this again? This candle, yeah, it's very possible that this candle could actually go up here. So there could be a lot of room for the candles to move. But as I said, I feel uncomfortable with this because we didn't get a bottom wick. I'm going to be completely honest. We didn't get a bottom wick on the weekly, and we didn't get a bottom wick on the daily. So this candle can very well just start to flip and come down, grab a bottom wick and go back up, or flip and just drive all the way down. So I'm a bit concerned about this particular candle. I don't like the fact that it had no bottom wick. That's a huge concern for me. Huge, huge concern for me. Right? So yeah, I'm not saying that we can't get some trades out of it, but it's gonna be, for me, it's looking at a bit tricky. I'm not so sure about it. And then if you look right here, price breakout of this structure right here. So could it be that the daily candle is just coming up here to retest right here to then start to go back down? You know, that's a possibility as well. Because if we look at market structure, we're seeing price up, down, then created this high, created this low. It has not broken this low as yet. It came up, it did not break this high. It came down, it did not break this low. It made an equal low, and then now it's creating this high. So could it be that it's actually heading towards creating a higher high? That's possible. Or is it going to create a high right here and then start to come back down? You know what I mean? So those are the scenarios that could play out that we have to be mindful of. The one thing I'm guessing though is that price is definitely more than likely going to tap back this white line right here before doing anything else. So there's a great possibility that we might end up getting some trades to go up here. So even if later on in the London or New York session, we see price start to pull back, there's a great chance that it could pull back and then tap right here, and then we can see this, the movement down to grab the wick down here and then start to push up back. So that is what I am seeing as a possibility. Or price could actually just move up here and then start to drop from there. But I know that's at some point, this area, which is 194,027, more than likely will get tapped. That area more likely will get tapped sometime today into tomorrow. So we can expect that this area might get tapped. All right. In terms of possibly entries, possibly pullback entries, we saw that price broke this zone right here. Price broke out of this area right here. And when it broke out of that area, it actually left a 1 hour fair value gap. So price left a 1 hour fair value gap right here. All right, so could it be that price could possibly come back to the fair value gap, which would be the pullback and then push up? That's a possibility. All right. So we could be looking for a price to do a pullback to here and then push up. That is if it don't already push up to here. If it already push up to here, then you might be looking for some sales for it to come back down to here. So those to me are the two scenarios. So if price, so let me go over that. So if price continues to push from now into tomorrow morning, we might see the push come up here. And then we can look for rejections or price to come back to down to retest here or even retest as far as here, right? That's one scenario. The next scenario is that price could now start to come back down and start to retest here and then start to push back up. So those are the possibilities of how price can actually play out over the next 24 hours. All right, there's an error here. So price is basically in this zone currently. As you can see, price breakdown here, retested here again. Now it's broken up above that zone. So there's a strong possibility that the move is that it will come up first before coming back down for a retest to push up. So if you're in the buys already, it probably is worthwhile to continue to hold it to 194. But just rest assured that at some point there's going to be a pullback for price to either continue up or start to reject to go down. So I would say that there are trades that exist in this zone right here, but we'll have to see how price handles inside here. So whether it comes out, retest and push up, or it push up first, tap into here, and then start to come back down. So that's the two scenarios of how price can play out. Everybody understand that? You understand that, chat? Drop a 7. Let me know you understand.
7.
Mad. So, early days still. So even though Chakura make a whole heap of money on this move right now, you still have some ways to go, bro. Yeah, it's going to be a test of your patience. Unless you have a closeout and then try see if you can get another entry. But this will be a test of your patience for sure to hold this trade. How far did I plan for hold it on? Hold it to 194?
Yeah, up to there.
Okay. So you should be good then. You should be good. You might have a pullback though, but you should be good. Should be good. Like even though the 15-minute open a top wick first. So there might be some pullbacks happening. Just don't want it to be a deep pullback. Because it'd be like you lose money for make back money.
Oh.
You see me? So but I'm anticipating that the more likely going to tap here first before doing anything else. That's what I'm anticipating. And if it tap there, based on market structure, price push, then it will probably come back. I don't see it going back anywhere else, but probably in this area before pushing back up. Unless there's something that happens that push it back into this area. And if it gets pushed into this area, then the pullback could be probably somewhere in here. But right now, because it's in this area, in this zone, I'm expecting the pullback to come back into here for price to push up. So that's what we're looking at. All right, Christina says to explain one more time. All right, Christina. So when we look on the weekly time frame, right? we see that price opened up very strong to the upside. But the problem I'm having is that there's not really a wick down here. And typically, if you look at most of the candles, right, you see that most of the candles have a wick. Well, if you look at this particular candle, you notice that this particular candle has a small wick at the top. The problem is that this is a bullish candle and it has a long wick at the bottom. This bullish candle doesn't have a long wick at the bottom. So my concern is that there's a great chance that this candle, even though it started out bullish, might end up come back down before it does anything else. So I'm anticipating that there might be a chance of this candle turning bearish at some point in the next couple of days, right? But before it turns bearish, I'm anticipating that it might tap on this line before going down. And if it does go down, and if it is going to go back up, it's going to grab and create a wick down here before flipping again and going back up, right? Which would the next area I would think of would be the 194.918 area, where it would completely fill the wick of this previous candle. So that's a possibility as well, right? So we'll go down to the 1 hour time frame where we're seeing the structure. We're looking for areas where we want to see market structure play out. So we can look for areas where there is possible entries. As you can see, price made a high here, did a pullback, and now is at a high right here. At some point, price has to make a pullback. So whether it's going to tap this line and then pull back into here, or even into here before pushing back up, but there has to be a pullback at some point. Currently, there is no pullback. So we are anticipating where are the possible places that price could pull back. And one of the possible places is this fair value gap, where there's an imbalance right here that price could actually pull back to. So one of our point of interest, right, would be this area right here. So this would be one of our POIs. So what we do is now we wait for price to come back down here, see how price reacts to down here, and decide if we're going to jump in a trade. But we have to wait until the price come down here. Now, the other opportunity that exists is that we can wait for price to actually come up here. And when price come up here, we can look for a possible reversal on the lower time frames to get a scalping trade to come down to at least right here, to tap into possibly even right here or even down here before price decides that it wants to go back up, right? So if price taps here first, we can possibly look for opportunities to sell for the pullback, but it can't be long opportunity. It have to be a short in and out. Can't be nothing long, right? So the opportunity is there for us to be able to take some sells back to this point. And then if price comes down to this point, we can look at how the candles are reacting and then decide if we want to go into this trade to push all the way up. If the opportunity is telling us that the trade wants to continue to move up. But currently, price is still in an uptrend, as you can see. Price coming from here. Price is still in an uptrend. Created this high. It came down here, but it did not break this low. It pushed up back, and then it created an equal low right here and did not break this low. And now it has broken this high, which means there's a great chance that price is going to continue to go up. But in my estimation, it's not just going to go up just like that. It now just go all the way up. It has to at least pull back at some point for us to get more trades to the upside. So that is how we see the market structure continuing. And it's just for us to see where candle is going to go for us to take a trade. All right. Clear now, Christina, sorry. Awesome. All right, guys. So let's tap into gold and see what's happening in gold right now. So we did expect that gold was going to drop, right? So gold has dropped. And now we're looking at the possibility of us taking some entries on gold As usual, let's start from the higher time frame. I would say let's start on the monthly time frame because we already know that the 6 month and the 3 month is already a bullish candle, just like how we see in this monthly candle, right? Now, 7 days left in this candle. Is this monthly candle, the next 7 days, going to start to come back down drastically to flip and create a doji candle? Very much possible, but to me, highly unlikely. So I believe, just based off of what I'm seeing already, that gold might continue to push up, right? Gold broke the high of this candle right here. So for it to come back down would be, it would have to be a huge dent in the market for gold to just push back down on this candle. There'll be after some serious news that have to come out and cause that disruption. As we look on the weekly, we can see where there's a break of structure, here, and price needs to now pull back for price to continue up. But based on how gold is happening right now, gold can continue to push up like what it did here. So if you notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles, it could do the same thing over here as well, based on the fact that the US economy is failing. And right now, gold is actually, so once the US dollar is slipping, gold normally increases in value. So 1, 2, 3, you might have a next heavy gold candle in this week to continue to push up, right? So I am still buy biased on gold, and that is what I'll be looking at. I'll be looking at buys still. Still don't mean that we can't get sells, but buys is the order of the day. So based off of this on the daily now, are we expecting price to just continue to push up, or is it going to come down some more before pushing up? We don't know for sure. The only thing we can do is just wait and see what opportunity presents itself. But I'm leaning more to price actually coming down first, to create structure to actually push up. But let's look at the 4-hour time frame and see where are the opportunities, if any, that price could actually push down to. So the first area that we're looking at is right here, that price actually burst out of to create its all-time high, and it was ranging in this area before. So could it be that price is actually going to come down, tap into this area again, probably draw on liquidity, and then push up? That is a possibility. So I'd say our first area of interest for looking for buys would be down here. So this area would be our first area of interest for looking for continuation of buys, right? If you're looking for sells, let's go to the 1-hour timeline, because in the 1-hour timeline, what we're seeing is we're seeing a change of character, because price was pushing up, creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and then it created this head and shoulder pattern where price actually broke down here and is now retesting the neckline. So could it be that it's retesting the neckline for price to push down to come back here? So if you're looking for sells, this area is actually not a bad area for you to actually take your sells from, because this is the area that price seems to be retesting, and it's also below the EMA. So you could possibly see price actually tap the EMA and then come down. Now, another thing that you should be mindful of is the fact that there's no bottom wick on this current 1-hour candle, right? Which means that there's a great chance that the next candle, is a great chance that the next candle is actually going to tap into here and possibly push down. So if you're selling, you should be good. If you're buying, you should be good. It just depends on how you're viewing the market and how it is that you trade the market. But for now, I would say we're looking at short-term sells and then long-term buys. That is what I'm looking at on gold. Short-term sells, long-term buys. If you're going to actually be able to buy gold from here, what you'd want to see, you want to see gold break up here, retest down here, and then start to push up. So you'd want to see gold start to break above here. And after it break above here, you want to see it come back to here, show signs of rejection for it to push up. That will be the continuation push. Or what could happen is gold could come up here, grab liquidity down here, and then start to push down back into this area. So if you're selling gold, I would say can sell from this area to down here. If you're buying gold, you should possibly wait for price to get down here to buy it, or you could wait for price to get down here and then buy it, or you'd have to wait until the price break above here, retest, show signs of rejection, and then push up to here. All right? Everybody understand that? Drop a 7 if you understand. Come on, chat. Let's go, chat. Let me know if you understand. Drop a 7. Let me know if you're good. Okay, wicked. All right. So that's gold. Let's have a look at NAS. All right, so I was expecting NAS to push down. Now look at this, guys. I don't miss. Like, this markup was done on Friday. We don't miss, right? I drew this line and I said that the only thing that we need to see is we need to see price would have to break this line. You can go back and watch it. I was saying that price would have to break this line to retest, right? Price did not break the line. And look what happened. It pushed up back. So we have to be able to understand. Once you understand market structure, guys, you can't lose. So let's just clear the chart and let's go to the daily. Let's go to the weekly. All right, let's start from the monthly. So the monthly with 7 days left is a nice bearish candle. And I don't foresee this candle not closing, not continue to close bearish. So I'm looking at more sells on NAS100. I'm looking at more sells on NAS100. So price broke above here, tested. And then you have this high. Then you have the candle low. So these are our major zones that we're looking at, right? Price is currently in this range right here. So now we'll go to the weekly. On the weekly, we see that price came and tapped this range. Now, what is price going to do next, right? Is price going to come up here and then pull back? I think that would be where I would say, I would be how I would say price would move, right? And as you can see also, there is a previous fair value gap right here that we could see price tap into to continue a push down. Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news, but obviously the stock market, the US stock market is doing poorly. But I believe that the reason why it's doing poorly is because it needs a correction. And the correction will mean that there has to be a continuation of pullbacks, right? So we're expecting prices to drop, to continue to drop, right? And there's a great chance that price might come down all the way down here, which is 18,336 on the NAS100 on the NASDAQ, right? So I'm expecting more sales. I'm expecting that price is going to come up, tap into this area, and then start to drop down. So for me, I'm still sell biased when it comes on to NAS100. So I would say, let's wait to see how price does when it comes up here, and then see how it will push down. And we'll go to the daily. That's that area right there. As you can see, there's a gap right here that price has left. There's going to be a chance that price will tap in and come back to fill that area. Let's look at the lower time frame to see where the opportunities. Yeah, so I'm expecting that price will tap somewhere into here and then come back down. As you can see, it's currently creating a trend to the upside, and it's in this particular channel. So you can either catch it when it tap the top of this channel to come back down and then possibly break, retest, and then continue to go down. Or you can wait for it to actually come out of the channel, retest right here, and then continue to go down. So those are the two options when it comes on to NAS100. So as you can see, it's still all market structure. Price was coming down, right? And then price created a higher low, higher high, higher low, equal high, right? It's that equal high. Then it created a equal low, right? And now it's up at this equal high again. So could it be that it grabs liquidity up here to then start to dump all the way down here? That's a high possibility. So I would say for me, I am sell biased as it come on to NAS. So I'm expecting NAS to push up here and then push down. So at about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning or 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they can expect to see that kind of move from NAS about between 8 and 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, right? So I'm expecting NAS to continue to sell. That is my expectation. Everybody understand that? Everybody see why I get that? Everybody see how I get that? Just drop a 7 in the chat if you understand. All right, give me a second chat. I'm gonna go grab something for drink. All right, mad. All right, let's look at US30. So US30, same thing as NAS100, expecting sales. Let's look at the weekly. As you can see, just like with NAS100, of a fair value gap right here that we want to see price tap into, see how it reacts to the fair value gap for it to continue to push down. So as you can see, this area here was taken out by this low. So now we're expecting that price is going to create a lower high to continue its downward trend. So without even going any further, we're anticipating more sells on US30 as we have been over the past couple months or a couple days. So I'm expecting more sales on US30. Expecting more sales on US30 without even going into any detail, guys. It's basically looking identical as NAS100. Like it's looking at the same exact chart, to be honest, right? So we just want to see how price reacts when it tap into this area. And then we can see if we can get some pushes to the downside. Nothing different. All right. So everybody good? So to recap, US30, we're looking to tap into this area to push down. NAS100, we're looking to tap into this area to push down. Gold, we're looking to tap into here to push down, or we're looking for it to tap up here to push down here to continue to push up. Or we're looking for it to reject to push down to here. And then after I push down here, we're looking for it to move from there to continue up. GJ, we're looking for GJ, where we were looking for GJ to either come down here and then push up, but it looked like it wanted to push up first. So we're looking for GJ to push up here, show some signs of rejection to come back down here, right, before pushing back up. If it doesn't do that, then there's a great chance we can get a trade once it breaks into here and pull back, push up. But you don't want to be taking a trade right now, to be honest. I don't think there's enough room for a trade. Let's just see though, because it's possible. As you can see, guys, there's absolutely no pullback yet. Right? There might have been pullback on the 5-minute time frame. Right? So if you're watching the 5-minute time frame from down here, then maybe you could get a trade. Maybe, as a matter of fact, there is no entry confirmation on these time frames. There's no entry here. Right? Possibly this could have been an entry. Right? So after price broke out there, came back and it retested this fair value gap. So this could have been an entry, but I would say even though there's still no entry opportunities, even on the 15 minutes, the 30 minutes. So I would say you have to wait until there's a pullback. Look at all this move right here. Look at this entire move right there. There's no way we can expect that price is just going to continue to go up from here. There has to be a pullback somewhere. So I would say wait for the 1 hour pullback before jumping in a trade. So I wouldn't expect you guys I wouldn't suggest you guys jump in a trade, right? Especially Asian session is really slow. So maybe London session, you can probably jump in a trade, but I would say to leave it right now. If you never catch a trade from down here, so where we caught it on Friday, it would make more sense for you to just leave the trade alone. It would make more sense for you to leave the trade alone, to be honest. And as you can see, because on Friday, we caught the trade right here. I think it's right here that we caught the trade, this 5-minute candle that we took the trade. And remember, I told you guys, I don't know who was on the live, but I don't know if you remember this. But I did tell you guys that it's holding it would be rough because I don't like to hold trades over the weekend. Not that there's anything like, for me to hold a trade over the weekend, I have to be deep in profits. Like the market structure would have to be clear and deep in profits for me to close on a weekend. So say for instance, I'll close on a weekend if I entered the previous week or I entered early in the week and the market just gone all the way up. Because when we took this trade right here, right, because we take this trade right here, right? And the stop loss was below here, I think. And we're going forward because we got a 1 to 3. So the stop loss would have been around here, right? And I was saying, hey, price was gonna tap into here at some point, right? But then look what happened. Price opened back basically at our entry and left this entire gap right here, which is what happens sometimes when you trade. And then what could have happened is that it could have actually left a gap even below here, which would have knocked us out of the trade and would have lost the trade and then it move up. So for me, once we got our 1 to 3 right here, I was like, plus I think it's a 1 to 4 I got. I don't remember how much I get. I think it's a 1 to 4 I got. But once I got what I wanted from it, I was okay. I'm moving on. Now, if we had entered and we're deep in profits on a Monday or a Tuesday, I would have held it because you tend to find that you're not going to have this kind of gap on a weekday. You must have this kind of gap on a weekend when market opens back on a Sunday. So that is why I don't like holding trades over the weekend. If it's like Monday, Tuesday, I'd hold it for the entire week, but I don't like holding trades over the weekend because of this exact same thing right here. And if you were on the live on Friday, you'd have heard me spoken about this, why I'm not holding the trade. So that's exactly what happened. And then price shoot up. I mean, we missed all of this movie, yes, but it's fine. The market will always present other opportunities. And when the other opportunity present itself, we're going to take it. So you don't have to worry about the fact that you never hold a trade and the trade now gone up and the trade gone high up in the sky. You don't want to worry about that. You have to just understand, say, get what you wanted from the market and move on. Because you could have wake up this morning or this evening when the market opened, you could have just cut all the way down and then you'd have lost the trade. And then I hate yourself even more because you say, yo, I get my 1 to 3 and we should have closed on my trade. So better just make up your mind. If you close a trade, you close a trade. Don't have second guess. You say, once you start to second guess, guys, you're going to have a problem. So once you make up your mind and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to close the trade, let's close the trade and live with whatever comes after that. Just like when you enter in a trade, you enter a trade and whatever happen after that, happen after that. Don't get emotional. Don't start doubt yourself. Even if you lose a trade, don't feel like you're a bad trader. Because sometimes in a loser trade, it's not that you're a bad trader, it's that a market just never give you the opportunity. You see me? So don't feel no way and then start to change up your strategy and change up the way that you trade after losing one trade. It's just like so far last week, I did some live with you guys on YouTube, and the 2 times that I came on live, I won those 3 trades. Took 3 trades and I won all 3 of them, right? That don't mean that I won't lose a trade. And when I lose a trade, am I going to then start to change up how I trade? No. It's just a matter of the market. Either I never read the market properly or the market just never wanted to give me the opportunity I was looking for. So don't feel away if you lose a trade. Losing is a part of the game. And a lot of the time is our ego that causes us to overtrade and think that we have to win every trade. You don't have to win every trade. It's a matter of fact, guys. I can tell you, I lose majority of the trades that I take. Well, not in recent times. Not in recent times still. Like I haven't lost majority of my trades in probably about like 6 months. I've been I'd say about 70 or 80% of my trades I win. But there's a point where I was losing majority of my trade, but I was still making a shitload of money. I was losing majority of my trade, but I was still making like 10,000, 15,000, $20,000. Losing majority of my trades. So don't feel no way losing trades. Losing trades is apartheid. Don't allow your ego to get to you. Just make sure you manage your risk. Just make sure that you manage your risk. Only risk as percentage of your capital, right? And then you go for 1 to 3 all the time. All the time, minimum 1 to 3, 1 to 4, yeah, 1 to 5, yeah, 1 to 6, 7, 8, great. But minimum 1 to 3. And once price hits your 1 to 3, you move your stop loss from move your stop loss to your 1 to 3 position. So if price actually pulls back, you still get your 1 to 3. If it continues to push up, then you get more. But you want to know you always have your minimum 1 to 3 whenever you trade. And whenever you're risking, always risk what you can afford to lose. Always risk a percentage, right? I see people coming on and trading with $100 and I try and I risk 1% and 2%, I wouldn't advise that. What the hell are you going to do with like cents in profits or dollars in profits, right? If you're going to risk $100, the least you should be risking on that is 10%, which is $10, right? So the least you should be risking every trade on a $100 account is like $10. So that way, if you win if you win 40% of your trades, then you're going to make $100 profit. Right? If you win 40% of your trades, when you risk 10%, you're going to make $100 profit. So you double your money by only winning 40% of your trades. Now imagine if you win 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 or even 90% of your trades, right? But when you have a small amount of money, your risk bigger. But when you have the bigger, and then when your capital gets bigger, that's when you start to risk smaller, like you start to go down to 5% and 2% and 1%. Now, if you're doing a challenge, like if you're doing a prop firm challenge, you have to stay within the required minimum risk. Like for instance, now if you're trading a prop firm, I would say never trade more than 2%. As a matter of fact, 2% should be a comfortable trading percentage that you should be trading on any account. Because just to show you the math, right? If you risk 2%, say for instance, you have a 25K account. What is the standard like drawdown? What's a drawdown on a 25K account? That 25K account drawdown is typically like what? 10%? 10% max drawdown. What's it like? I think is 12% max drawdown, right? And then the daily drawdown is like 5%, I think. Something like that, right? You guys in the chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that the max overall drawdown is like 10%, and then the daily drawdown is like 5%, correct? But I'm not sure. All right, so nobody's answering it. All right, so the daily drawdown is 25K, right? The daily drawdown is, okay, yeah, I know each one is different, but the standard, like most of them have a standard. So just for argument's sake, 12% is the max drawdown and 5% is the daily drawdown, right? If you risk 2% of 25K, right? Let's do some calculation. So 2% of, so 25,000 times 2%, that's $500. So basically you're risking $500, right? So you're risking $500 per trade, right? So say for instance, this is your risk per trade, and you're only taking maximum 2 trades per day. You're only taking 2 trades per day, right? Now, you set a boom and you enter your first trade and you lost your first trade, right? That would be 2%, right? And then your second trade for the day, you had another loss. That's another 2%. Now, the question I want to ask anybody in the chat is, have you breached your 5% daily drawdown yet? Yes or no? Okay, everybody quiet. All right, let me just continue the example because y'all slow, man. All right, so after taking 2 trades and losing the first 2 trades, right? You'd have realized that you have not breached your 5% yet, right? So the next day comes now, and you take a 3rd trade, and you take an XL, right? Which is another 2%. You have still not breached your 5% for the day, and you have not breached your 12% overall. Now, your 4th trade, you actually win, right? And remember, you're doing 1 to 3. So now you have made 2 threes, 6%. Now you're back to break even. Your 5th trade, you win that trade, and you make another 6%. Your 6th trade, you lost that trade, and you lost 2%. If you notice, guys, you have not yet breached your 5% or your 12%. Yet you have lost 1, 2, 3, 4 times already, right? Now the 7th trade, you lost again, another 2%. You have still not breached your 5% or you have not breached your 12%, even though you've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades already, right? Now your 8th trade, you win. And you win 6%. Right? So now you won 6% on your 8th trade, right? You're back up in parity again. As a matter of fact, now you're in profit. Your 9th trade, you win again. Another 6%. And then your 10th trade, you lost. Another 2%. So this is how you pass a funded account challenge. I'm giving you guys some gems. This is how you pass a funded account challenge quickly. Don't risk 1%, risk 2% every single time you trade, but only trade at maximum twice per day. Only trade maximum twice per day and risk 2% each trade, depending on what your daily drawdown is. If your daily drawdown is 4%, then you want to risk no more than 1.5% each trade and 2 times per day, right? So now, say for instance that each of these trades that we take will lose $500, but we make $1,500 each trade, right? So we lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We lost 6 trades minus $500, right? 6 trades minus $500, 6 5s, 30. That is 3 grand. So you lose $3,000. Winnings is 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold on there. Yes. So you win $1,500 each time, and 1,500 times 4 is how much? That's $6,000. So you've won $6,000 You guys hear me? You guys hear me? Yeah, sorry about that. I got cut off. You guys hear me, right? All right, so right off the bat, as I said before, you would have actually passed your prop firm challenge. Just by following this simple rule. You risk 2% per trade, never trade more than twice per day, and once you can win 40% of your trades, you're going to pass a prop firm challenge. All right. So I'm giving you guys that gem today, and that is it for me for tonight. Hope you guys understood everything. Hope you guys are good. As it relates to VIX, I used to trade VIX. If you go on my story on my Instagram page, you'll see that I used to trade VIX. But the thing with VIX is that VIX don't allow me time freedom. I have to always be on the VIX charts. And I just never like that. I prefer Forex market, because with the Forex market, the market tend to move at specific times. So as long as I'm on the charts doing that time, I'm good. And then once I come off the charts, I can go about my day. I can have my weekend, because I think VIX also moves on the weekend as well. So, you know, when I was trading VIX, it basically took over my life. I was on the charts literally every day, every second of the day, and I was never like that. So even though I made a lot of money from VIX, I really believe that Forex is better for me, because I started trading for time freedom. So I'm not working a 9 to 5. I don't want my trading to feel like a 9 to 5, if you get what I say. I stick to Forex. All right, peeps. So you don't know, I'm about to tune out right now. Thanks a lot for chilling with me. Hope I gave you guys some value. Please, guys, please to give this video a thumbs up. Everybody who is on right now, please, I beg you, just give me a thumbs up right now. Just to kind of keep the momentum going, keep you motivated to the videos like this. Leave a comment. Once the video has ended, please to go on the other videos on on this channel. Go through the other videos. You can watch them, like them, comment on them, interact with the videos, guys, so that I can reach more people. Also, you can log on to my Instagram page, Learn to Trade JA, and also support the content on there as well. I'll continue to give you guys free content on this. As you know, you can also sign up for my Learn and Earn group, where I send out daily signals and also do live trading with you guys in the Learn and Earn group. So you can sign up for that as well. It's only $67 per month. By far the cheapest in the industry. that gives more value than everybody else. Right? So sign up for Learn and Earn, join the movement, and continue and give me the strength that, you know, as much strength as you possibly can. All right. So as I would always say, have a great weekend, have a great have a great week, trading week. I wish you guys all the profitability in the world. Remember to stay disciplined and stay patient. Manage your capital, and that's how you make money in trading. All right. So enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Thanks a lot for chilling with me, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Peace.